Welcome. And you tuned in to another edition of Homage Speaks. What homages do, homage is paid. And right now, we got to pay ultimate homage to Nick Saban and the Roll Tide of Alabama. They came to Atlanta and do what they always do when they come to visit. When they take that trip up 20 East, they come to get the money. The Georgia Bulldogs proved that they're one of the top teams in the country, and they were able to play relatively sound football for 3 quarters. But in the fourth quarter and late in the second half, they laid one of the most gigantic eggs of the season. But let's break it down. Let's go a little deeper. Nick Saban is the teacher. Kirby Smart is the pupil. Nick Saban has taught Kirby Smart a lot about the game of football. Kirby Smart has taken the Georgia program with the great recruiting classes that he's had and put together some fine football teams. But when it comes to the big game and the big moments, he has not been able to deliver as he was supposed to, which is the reason why he got the job in the first place. Put this in its proper perspective. Last year, going up against Alabama, Nick Saban, he had a great team. Kirby Smart, being the defensive wizard that he is, created a perfect game plan to contain Jalen Hurts, and then the wild card Tua came in. This season, Tua has been lighting up the entire league, but I always felt, and as I stated in my prior podcast, Kirby Smart will have a great game plan because of the footage that LSU, Citadel, Auburn, and Mississippi State put out. Prior to those games, it was no way that any team could figure out how to stop the University of Alabama. The Georgia Bulldogs have more than enough talent to beat Alabama. Sound running game. Swift is a bad man. He's one of the most dynamic players in the country. What he can do in space is second to none. There's not a lot of players in college football that can do what he do. Jake Fromm, everybody wanted to put Justin Fields in the game. Jake Fromm is a phenomenal quarterback. A lot of people don't even want to pay homage to the fact that Nick Saban wanted him at his school. That's how good people thought Jake Fromm was. Roll Tide wanted him. But we'll put it in its proper perspective. Jake Fromm played an amazing game, but coaching matters. You got what you needed up out of him. He was trying to get too much. You felt like they were stacking the box. They sold out to take care of the run. Last time I checked running teams, if you got 8 in the box, 9 in the box, 10 in the box, we're going to run the football. And that's what Georgia stopped doing. Even though the scoreboard is going to show we threw the Georgia Bulldogs threw the ball 40 times and they ran the ball 39 times, it still should have been a little bit worse. It should have been like 60-40 because they was getting success on the run game, and it also would have helped them in the clock management situation. When they went up 14 points, I don't know if you paid any attention, but clock management matters. This is a big-time game. The Georgia Bulldogs were still trying to maintain the tempo instead of taking the time and methodically work the ball down the field by executing the offense how they had been doing the entire game prior to those moments. Let's take time off the clock. They were snapping the ball with 25, 30 seconds left on the play clock. When in college football, you get 40 seconds to snap the ball. They were not utilizing all the time. You also got to pay homage to this game as the redemption game. Everybody thought it was going to be the redemption game for the Georgia Bulldogs. My man, when Jalen Hurts came into that game, he had the eye of a warrior. He had the eye of redemption. I've never seen a player come into a situation like that so cool, so calm, so collected, and let everybody in that stadium know that I am the man of the hour and we're finna get this win. It was bittersweet for him because everybody in Roll Tide Nation did not believe that Jalen Hurts could get any more ball club. Now, fast forward to this game, Tua is getting slaughtered. He's getting handled. They got everything under control. Whatever pass he throws, whatever route combination they run, Georgia is locking it up. And then they brought in the hurt, make him hurt. Jalen Hurts, that's his new name. Make him hurt, Jalen Hurts. He came into the game, read the defense, 7 for 9, big gains on third down. The Georgia Bulldogs still tried to play the bend don't break, but he was breaking them down. And you got to notice also the last 6 possessions for the Bulldogs, they took their foot off the gas. You got a missed field goal, punt, turnover on downs. Nick Saban does it again. When he needs to get the stops, it's all about getting the stops. If you got one of the top defenses in the country, it's not about you getting the stop every time. It's when we need you to get a stop, you get the stop. And that's what the Roll Tide Nation did yesterday. They proved that they're still one of the best teams in the country. Georgia Bulldogs, you controlled your own destiny. You win and you win. Because if you lose, everybody know. Let's be clear. You're better than Notre Dame. You're a better football team than Ohio State. And you're a better team than Oklahoma. They moved you to 4 for a reason. If you lose, you're out. If you would have won, they would have moved you up to 2 or 3, moved Clemson up to 1, and Bama back to 4. They still play Clemson. They was not going to give it to you. You and I know, everybody knows watching this podcast, that Oklahoma cannot beat Georgia. They couldn't beat them last year. They damn sure ain't going to beat them this year because they're worse defensively this year than they was last year. And last year they had a great running game that they don't bring that to the table this year. They have some quality backs, but it's not like how they was able to run the Georgia last year. Georgia is also a better team in the secondary this year. The front seven was better last year. This year, the secondary is better this season. So, Georgia Bulldogs, Kirby Smart, what are you going to do? This game ultimately lies on you. You controlled the time of possessions. You had more first downs. You didn't miss a lot of tackles. Your players didn't make a lot of mental mistakes. But outside of special teams, because they didn't execute a few punts that was going to pin them in deep in the territory and make them drive the football, kind of like how Oklahoma did Texas, pinned them back, first play, fumble, ball game over. Clock management matters. Kirby Smart, you have to use this as an opportunity to grow, get better, and realize that it takes a lot to become a champion. It takes talent. You have to have the right talent, the right coaches, the right circumstances, and have to beat Alabama to get where you want to go. As long as Nick Saban is the coach of Alabama, Georgia Bulldogs, I'm sorry, you're good them to get what you want out of the season. Period. Point blank. Going forward, Georgia's going to have one of the top 3 recruiting classes coming in. Next year was supposed to be their year, so cover smart seat. You have no room for error because next year is supposed to be your year. You're coming in with a veteran quarterback. He's going to be a junior. Coming in with Fields, he's going to be experienced. You got running backs. You got receivers. You got defense. You got everything you need. Go get it done. With that being said, let's jump right into it. Dwayne Haskins, he's one of the most dynamic players in the country, but they felt that loss to Purdue, which was a pretty bad loss to Purdue, on the road, night game, was all it took. All the other 11 games that you played don't even matter. You lost that one, and that hurt you. Georgia Bulldogs, you lost to a number 3 LSU team, and you lost to a number one ranked Alabama team, and you got jumped down to 5. We all know what time it is. You're supposed to be in, but because you didn't take care of your business, you're out. You had one job. Take care of your business. They can't help but to put you in there. So now you got Clemson going up against Notre Dame. That's going to be an intriguing matchup, to say the least. But if Clemson going to be able to run the football like they've been able to run the football all season, I see them meeting the Roll Tide game. That'll be 3. Bama versus Clemson. If Dabo Swinney gets this done, he will be looking to be the king of college football because he have seen Nick Saban 4 times in the last 4 years. And if he can get another win, that'll be 3. I mean, that'll be 2. That'll be 2-2, but he'll have 2 championships on Nick Saban's watch. No other coach can do that. No other coach can say that. Urban Meyer got 1. Dabo Swinney got 1. It was his time. It's time for Clemson and Trevor Lawrence, a.k.a. Sunshine, to get it done. But make no mistake about it, Kyler Murray, I believe, is the most dynamic player in college football. They're going to give the Heisman Trophy to Tua, but I really wish they would wait 1 week, let these guys go head-to-head, and whoever wins that game, performs the best in that game, is this year's Heisman Trophy winner. Because one thing about it, we're going to find out. But or that ball off and they're going to play. Kyler Murray is one of the dynamic players in college football. He can do it all. He does it all for that team. It's not a throw that he can't make. And contrary to popular belief, Nick Saban has 1 Achilles heel, just 1, and that is a mobile quarterback that can beat you with his arms as well as his legs, just like Johnny Football, just like Deshaun Watson. He can get just like Dak Prescott when he was at Mississippi State. These guys can get it done. The question is, are they? I look forward to be an exciting game early. If Bama go out there and be the most physical team, if Oklahoma can match physicality with Bama, then you might have a ball game. But if they cannot match the physicality that Bama is going to bring, because Bama understands that they just dodged a supreme bullet. They dodged a bullet because they almost were rolled out of here because they would have put the committee in a real pressure position. Who was coming out? Notre Dame, Oklahoma. Somebody was going to have to come out for them to remain in because they was going to move Clemson to 1, move Georgia to 2. Alabama was going to drop to 4. Or they could have, they was going to work it out to where Alabama was going to get back there, and reservedly so. Alabama, one of the best teams in the country. They're better than Ohio State. They're better than Oklahoma. They should have been in that 4th spot if they lost the game, but they did. So y'all know who the big 4 is. Number 1 seed Alabama will square off against Oklahoma, and number 2, 3, and the 2 and 3 seed Notre Dame and Clemson, they gonna square off. I'm looking for Clemson to do what they need to do because I do believe in Dabo Swinney. I think he's a good coach, and I think Clemson has something that they haven't had going into this game is that they have an actual running attack from the running back position. Usually Clemson coming to this game, they have very serviceable backs. No, they have one of the top backs in the country now, and he's running like it. So let's see if they're going to be able to get it going. Oklahoma, Kyler Murray's going to need everybody. He got some big-time receivers out there. He got Marquise Brown, little cousin of Antonio Brown. He get busy. But my guy, even though he almost blew the game yesterday trying to make the plays of all plays, CD Lamb is coming to the NFL near you. He is one of the most dynamic route runners, pass catchers in college football. So he will have to be accounted for. Look for Oklahoma to spread them out early and often. It's going to be a big-time offensive game, but I think they can do it. They can do it because they have the quarterback. They're just going to have to shoot them out. I don't know if the defense is going to get a stop. They might have to get 1 or 2 stops in the game, but it's going down. And with that being said, college football is getting close to crowning the champion. So this marks another edition of Harmon Speaks.